Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, welcome to the End FGM live show. This is another blessed day. We are here today. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and together with Tony Mwebia and Antonia Sophia, we shall be interacting with you for the next 30 minutes on video and on live chat. This broadcast will help you to understand the current situation in Bungoma County, and you will get to know the best practices adopted by organizations and activists as well, working in grassroots areas in this region in Kenya. Remember to leave a comment down below this live video, and we shall try our best to read them live. Quick update on our guests. Antonia Solomon, he's the chair of the Adventure Youth Group and radio presenter at BK Radio. Karibu sana Antonia. He's also an artist who uses music in advocacy for FGM, teenage pregnancies, and child marriages. So that's Antonia for us. He uses his radio program to host activists and leaders in highlighting cases of FGM in the community, as well as good governance. So welcome Antonia. They have not seen you yet, but I can see you. Welcome to the show. So Prim Jepchumba is going to join us as well. She's the current chairperson of Maendeleo ya Wanawake organization for Mount Kenya chapter. She is instrumental in the rescue and prosecution of violation of rights against women, and she also spearheaded the arrest and prosecution of FGM perpetrators in 2014. So her work in the anti-FGM campaign has been ongoing. Emmanuel Murko, a teacher by profession and also a radio host at BK Radio. He uses his Saturday show to educate the community on FGM, teen pregnancies, and child marriages in Mount Elgon. Was also instrumental in the organization of the End FGM half marathon that happened around the Mount Elgon area. He uses his experience as a trained teacher in mentorship in programs in schools in Mount Elgon on matters of gender inequalities. So welcome to the End FGM show today. We really appreciate having you here today. A quick one about an overview about the End FGM campaign in Kenya and also in the world. We go straight to the statistics, and we have different statistics in regards to FGM globally and also nationally, and specifically also to the End FGM campaign in this region. And I'll just take you through that right now. We have worldwide 200 million women and girls living today have undergone FGM, and it's found in 31 countries worldwide. Sudan being the latest country to legalize FGM. With a 21 prevalence of FGM, Kenya still stands in battling this cultural practice. 7 out of 10 girls were circumcised by a traditional kata, still prevalent quite much, even below the women who were circumcised by traditional cutters. So the statistics still hold on, and we ask questions why. Bungoma County, in 2014-2015, the anti-FGM board trained 257 law enforcement officers on matters FGM. Bungoma County has some issues. We all know about land defense force invasion, so there have been cases of lots of insecurity, cross-border cutting, poor infrastructure, so this makes it a little bit much more not accessible. Cultural value systems, as girls are viewed as a source of wealth and boys as defenders of families, so boys are usually prioritized in many cases. And a cultural belief that cutting girls reduces a sexual urge. Thank you very much for joining us today. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as at End FGM Live, and use the hashtag End FGM Live whenever you go on. Welcome again to this program. I'll just bring to you our panelists today, amazing people coming from the Mount Elgon area. But before I do then, just to let you know, we will be having Peter Kipainoi for a little while, and then when he is done, we will be able to have the fourth person. Karibu sana to the End FGM live show. We really do appreciate having you here. Just going straight to Peter Kipainoi, who is just next to me here. Kipainoi, we have many issues with the anti-FGM campaign in different parts of the country, but it's very specific also in the Mount Elgon area. A small brief, how is it like in Mount Elgon? What are the issues?
Yeah, I could not get you. Can you kindly?
Mount Elgon as an area has had its own fair of challenges in ending FGM. What are the issues? All right, we seem to be having a small challenge with Kipainoi, so we will just have a small conversation with the gentleman.
Thank you.
All right, go on, Kipainoi. Yeah, go on, Kipainoi. We can hear you now. All right, we just keep that and go to the gentleman. We have radio presenters in the house. Welcome again, Tunasi, as well as Emmanuel. We really do appreciate having you here today. It's an honor having you, really. It's not very easy to find journalists who've been covering this and working also with the community to end this. So thank you very much for joining us today. Okay, so we have many issues. I know as journalists, we have experienced lots of cases in the Mount Elgon area. Just a small overview of how things are.
Yeah, maybe I start.
Yeah.
Actually, as we've been interacting with the people, obviously we usually get help from the young people because I usually do a show from 1 to 4. That is a youth program. It's called East Africa, Monday to Friday. So you find that many young people, especially at this moment when we are having COVID-19, young people are in a threat whereby you find that because nobody knows exactly what COVID-19 is and nobody was ready. So you find that most of the young people are putting themselves at risk of so many practices, including cultural practices that are there. You remember, our young people, like, for example, the girls, when we talk about the generation that we are having back at home, many of these girls are at risk of getting pregnant because so many of our parents are not adhering to parenting. Most of the time, they'll be leaving our girls and boys to do the parenting role instead of them being part of it. So we are worried that as a community, we might be having a trend whereby our young girls are going to be at risk of getting pregnant and even some of them being married at a tender age. That means then that at the end of the day, school programs are going to be interfered. And that is where our problem is. Because a generation that is not educated, that is a generation that is behind or is going to lag behind. So it's a challenge. We are getting these challenges from the community. Today, I even interviewed one of the activists who was telling me that they have cases in their office pertaining child indiscipline. Most of them are like boys are going out there meeting with other friends, and their parents are not even aware of these friends. So at the end of the day, maybe they are indulging themselves into alcoholism and even other malpractices. So it's some of the issues that are affecting us. It's calling upon every stakeholder who is out there to make sure that at least we do something. That this is the right time, and we are not going to wait for any other time. We need to shout out these things, and our children will be safe.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that, Tunasi. Just to Emmanuel quickly before we try to get back to Kipainoi, and if not, then we bring the other lady who will be talking to us about her role in ending FGM and what they are doing as Maendeleo Wanawake at this time as well. All right, so Emmanuel, where are we?
Yes.
in regards to the current situation. COVID-19 is there in Mount Elgon.
Okay, the COVID situation in Mount Elgon has brought in some challenges, especially in terms of reporting these cases and also people going to seek for medical attention. Yeah, many people have been, they fear going to the health facilities to receive the assistance.
All right.
And also, we have the closure of schools. Maybe another disadvantage.
We're having feedback from your side.
because
Sorry, we're having feedback from either your side. If there's something playing on the background. All right.
Okay. That's good.
All right, let's go.
I think it's better.
Yeah, it's now good.
Yeah. So I was saying,
Yeah.
The current situation of COVID
Yeah.
has presented a new problem,
Yeah.
which was predictable initially.
Yeah.
That this case could happen when schools are closed.
Yeah.
But today we have an indefinite closure, of which there are some areas that are very remote in Mount Elgon. That's why we are focusing our energy in Mount Elgon, which is part of Bungoma County.
Yeah.
We have remote areas like Mosop, which is inhabited by people referred to as the Dorobo, who live in the forest.
Yeah.
So to some extent, the government machinery and all that cannot reach there to bring out that information.
Yeah.
So when students are in school, it is easy to manage the situation.
Yeah.
Like we have Kaptama, Moi Kaptama girls in Kaptama region,
Yeah.
which serves as a rescue center for girls. But now schools are closed. So it is a threat to this fight again against FGM. And therefore this is a very bad, it's a big disadvantage on our side. And also as a teacher, I have that experience regarding this case, because a child can come to you and confide and give you that confidential information about what the parents are intending to do.
Yeah.
So as a teacher, you'll have to make an intervention that will assist in preventing that from happening.
I think I'll cut you short from there. Sorry, I'll just go online straight. And when we do so, please remember that you can comment, you can tweet, you can chat us up on the End FGM Live hashtag. I see lots of people joining in. And before we come back, I'm just going to see who's in, and also try to add our third guest as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Aisha Hussein, I see you. She says tuned in from Isiolo. Masi Serian, thank you very much for joining in. I also see Vincent Blessing. Happy to see fellow End FGM activists in Bungoma on the bench. Mtunasi, Solomon Chepchumba, Emmanuel, and PC Kemei. Thank you very much for joining us. Vincent Blessing is from Kuria in Migori County. So keep them coming. We will continue with this show, and we will update you on what's happening on the ground. Thank you very much for joining in. Sonyanga Olengais says getting you loud and clear on this show. All right, keep them coming. We will read them. They will stream on the screen, as you can see, and we will be able to update you as we keep on going. On us on the panel today is Mtunasi, Solomon, as well as Mark, and I'm just going to add a lady here as well, who is very instrumental in advancing the rights of women in that region, Mount Elgon. Remember that Mount Elgon borders Uganda, and there have been many issues which we're going to be talking about today. All right, so I'm going to be adding Soprint on the chat now, and once we do that, we will be rolling. But before then, please know how you can better get involved in this show. Karibu sana, keep tuned.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
And we're back. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Remember, this is the End FGM Live. We are joined by amazing people from Mount Elgon region. We are also joined by others online, having more and more comments coming in. Really appreciate having you here today. Now joining us is a lady with other gentlemen who I'm just going to bring to the screen right now. We have Soprin, we have Emmanuel, and we have Solomon. Thank you very much for joining us today. I see everyone is on the grassroots today. Things are moving down here, but everyone is on the grassroots today. And we are talking about FGM in the Mount Elgon region. Soprin, you are the one who we've not introduced you, but we know that you work with Maendeleo ya Wanawake. A little bit about Maendeleo Wanawake's work during COVID-19 in 2 sentences.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Jetumba Eunice Soprin, and I'm the chairperson Maendeleo ya Wanawake as well as HRD. That is, I work with so many organizations to be with Maendeleo Wanawake and the KNCHR, that is Kenya National Commission on Human Rights.
All right, thank you very much. So what have you been up to during this COVID-19 period?
Okay, I've been sensitizing. In fact, I have 2 wards, that is Cheptais and Cheskaki wards, doing sensitization on COVID, and also trying to send some message to parents to be very careful during this period of when the schools are closed, because our children should be guided and they should be taken care of.
Amazing. Yes, they surely should be guided and taken care of during this time. All right, so joining us are different people also online, and we're just going to be reading their comments as we go on with the show. A small break. When you come back, we'll be settled 100% and talking about FGM, or some people prefer saying FGC, in the Mount Elgon area. Karibu and stay tuned. All right, we are back, ready to have a conversation with a lady and 2 gentlemen straight from the Mount Elgon area. Remember that Mount Elgon is found in the Uganda-Kenya border on a mountain. Most of you would have heard about Mount Elgon when SLDF in the 2008-ish period where there were some wrangles. But on a good note, it's still in Bungoma County, a county that you know well. It's very well fed. I hope that that area is also fed. So thank you very much for joining us today. Quick one, we have had SLDF, it's about Land Defense Force, being in operation in that area. It was a nuisance at that time. I do not know if it still has roots in that area. But I know that it really propagated the coming back of FGM, because initially there were reports that FGM was actually outlawed in the Mount Elgon area. Just a small brief about that, Mtunas. Can you hear me, Mtunasi? You are muted. Solomon, I think you're muted.
Yes. Are you getting me?
Yes, we can now hear you loud and clear.
Oh, yeah. Actually, SLDF, when we talk about SLDF, this is an outlawed group that was formed back in 2006, 2007, and 2008. And as you put it across, it's true that our young people and our mothers suffered a lot, because they were attacked. You know, every time when we are having conflicts in our community, those who suffer the most are the young people. Those who suffer the most are the women and the girls.
Yeah.
So find that, yes, the older generation, because there were these traditional kind of teachings that were going through, and they were being told, when you do A, you get B. When you don't do A, you are going to face these consequences and all that. And these were all traditions that were being made to make sure that they check and balance and get exactly what they were trying to put across. So you find that, yes, cultural practices and traditions in 2007 and 2008 to 2008 find that, yes, I think we were at par. You know, it went up, and we regret, because so many young people, and especially those who were in school at that moment, were not given chance to go back to school. So many young people, especially boys, were taken to the forest and were made militia group, and it all affected the entire family, entire community, and especially me. I even ran away because I was in the list of the young people who are supposed to go there and fight for the land. But you see, because there were those people who were elites, who could share some information from the government that, yes, you guys are fighting for this, but at the end of the day, you are going to suffer. And that is why some of us decided that, no, we are not going to risk our lives.
So you're supposed
and
to...
we decided to run away.
You were initially also to go to get recruited at SLDF.
Yes. I was recruited. But because some of my colleagues were elites, so I decided to run away.
Right.
And thank God I'm here, because after then is when I got educated well, and I took up this initiative of campaigning against these retrogressive cultures.
And now you're on radio as well.
Yeah, our mothers and our girls were suffering a lot. You know, when we talk about SLDF, this is a militia group that could go even to a village and rape girls, and rape our women, rape our mothers, you know. And that is not a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So this actually triggered what I have inside me. I thought it was not good. And that is why I decided to campaign against these retrogressive cultures, including FGM and early marriages and early pregnancies.
Thank you very much for that, Tunasi. To Emmanuel, quickly, we have had issues in Mount Elgon before, and you were instrumental in organizing an End FGM marathon in Mount Elgon. Why was it essential to organize that, and why a marathon then?
Yeah,
I think you got muted. Sorry.
Now?
Yes, we can now hear you.
Yeah. So I was saying, we chose on a marathon because, as you understand, the community in Mount Elgon resembles that of Rift Valley. Mm-hmm. They are naturally people who participate in athletics.
All right.
And therefore, it is a game that is enjoyed by many people, and many residents participate.
Yeah.
And therefore, we wanted an activity that will bring people together, so that as we educate them, many will get the message. And that's why we chose on a marathon.
Yeah.
And again, it was the best time to do it because it was during a holiday, December.
Yeah.
So it was the right time for us to educate both parents and young people, because schools had been closed.
Right.
So as someone comes to enjoy, so as someone comes to enjoy the game or the activity, he or she will have that opportunity to learn something from that activity. And I will thank all that helped us, all that came to support the program, so that we can achieve that. And also, maybe as a recap of the same, we had several women who used to practice the same. They were circumcisers, let me call them that way, who confessed that they used to do it. Like I remember one was called Power So. They confessed that they used to do it. And from that day, they will never do it again. Wow. And it was a plus on our side that now we have the former circumcisers who have reformed, and they will never do the same again, and therefore our girls will be safe.
Thank you very much for that, Emmanuel. I'll just go straight to the lady in the house. We have heard lots about you before you joined in, Supreme, and we have heard a background of you being able to help in the prosecution of FGM perpetrators in 2014. How was it like for you then?
It was hard, but let me share something before I come to the 2014 case, because I've come from far. As I earlier said, I've worked with so many organizations, including ActionAid, Kenya Female Advisory Organization, which was based in Kisumu, but unfortunately it phased out from Mount Elgon. Mm-hmm. And that was in 2005 when I got my first training on human rights and FGM advocate. And in fact, I was awarded the best, and I'm proud of that.
Congratulations for that.
To come to, in fact, we had a program called Forum Theatre. Mm-hmm. In Forum Theatre, we were doing some theatre to collect information from the community. We involved elders, women, school children, teachers, and all the community members.
Yeah.
So until 2010, when the government came up with the prohibition of FGM, and it assisted us so much in trying to arrest the vice in Mount Elgon.
Gone.
In 2014, I was able to work with we normally work with the chiefs and the local authorities. And in 2014, we were able to arrest a circumciser and 3 of her assistants. And they were jailed 4 years each. And I think it taught some lessons.
Yeah.
And because, it was hard for me and my team, including Akina Solo and all the members, because we were trying to fighting culture, and at the same time trying to pass the information on illegalities pertaining FGM. So it was very hard, and it is still hard. And as we are talking, I think we are remaining with some percentage of FGM still practiced in Mount Elgon.
Yeah.
Which is very unfortunate because it is done secretly.
Yeah.
And you will find some people say there is no FGM in Mount Elgon, but I am assuring you, I'm a women leader, and I do that. I'm a human rights defender. Yeah. And even in the 2014 case, I was forced to go there at night and just monitor the process. And do you know, they used to there is this, that procedure of having songs and the ceremony during daytime, pretending to be having boys, and at night
they cut the girls.
They bring out the girls. All so that is how we did, and we should continue doing this.
So quick question to you is, and I'm just going to request you to make this as short as possible. Is there a change since 2014? Then now you're working with Maendeleo Wanawake, meaning that you're promoting the well-being of women. I think also in terms of finances, as I know, Maendeleo Wanawake being a branch that really helps women, but is there any change in regards to how women are looking at the FGM situation right now?
Yeah, there is a bit change because we are not experiencing that extreme practice as I have said, it is done secretly. But now, as Maendeleo Wanawake, the headquarters had a program called, we had programs of ARP, alternative rite of passage, which we did in every December, identifying girls and having a central place to trying to disseminate the information and guide them and inform them of the disadvantages of FGM and other reproductive health
issues.
Sessions. Sessions.
Yeah.
So I think we have achieved.
Wow.
We have achieved.
Thank you very much for that. I'll just go straight on back to online. I see more people joining in. Karibu sana. We do appreciate. We are live on Facebook. We're also live on Twitter and YouTube. Please go on our live pages, End FGM Live, and you will find the links that will direct you to all those pages. Just going to Facebook, we see more people joining in. Thank you very much for joining in. Davis Mooley. We appreciate having you here. Rositonga Shumbai, I see you. He says Nikon Dani Kabisa. So please shoot your questions and we will be able to bring them on the screen as you can see. We'll just go back, but after a short break, we'll come and talk about what these counties are doing in regards to supporting End FGM advocates at this time. So don't go far. We will be back. We will be back with our guests and we will be talking about the involvement with also the government. Don't go far.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we're back. Thank you very much for joining the End FGM live show. With me is Mtunasi, Emmanuel, and also a lady who represents Maendeleo ya Wanawake, very instrumental in the rights of in fighting for the rights of women in Bungoma. Soprin Jepchumba, welcome to this to this show once again. Really do appreciate having you here today. Just right into it, we'll be talking about government involvement in the End FGM fight. There are so many stakeholders coming on board, but we also know that laws and policies are instrumental in the End FGM campaign. Straight to Soprim, because I know you work close to the government in that regard. We know that the bigger chunk of Bungoma County doesn't associate with itself with the practice of FGM. Most of them know that it's among mostly the Luya communities populate the bigger chunk of Bungoma County. Do you have any support from the government in that regard? Just talking about women issues, but specifically in this case, FGM.
No, we don't have, especially, we know the government services were devolved to the county government, and I think because FGM is related to those cultural whatever, and we have the culture, the culture department or the ministry in the county government, they should assist. But as at now, they don't. We have not had any assistance from the county government. As we all know that we have two levels of government, and I think what the national government has tried to do is just to come up with the laws, and the Constitution, the Children's Act, and the prohibition of FGM. That is all they have assisted us, but for the county government, no.
All right, and that's a gap, because you know that other counties that have come in terms of policies, in terms of also legislations to try to just make it official in regards to disbursement of resources to help end FGM some of the counties that have done that have really progressed in that regard. All right, so straight to you, Tunasi. We know that you've been working on radio for quite some time, and as I said, you had a background in also just seeing where we are at in regards to women just facing difficulties during war and also insecurity. But also we have had a cultural system that just diminishes the boys, diminishes the girls, and tends to put the boys up as defenders for the family and the girls as just a source of wealth. So they are mostly given out, handed out in marriage very early in age. Any changes to this in Suboutland?
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, we've been trying so much to sensitize the community, to make sure that the community is aware of the law, and to make sure that we empower our girls. And as you know, as a person, a media personality, we've been trying to put programs on radio to make sure that we sensitize this community. Now, luckily enough, as Supreme said, one of the person who helped in the prohibition law in Kenya is the former MP, that is Fred Kapondi,
yes,
who is the area MP now.
Yeah.
And in 2010, he's the one who moved the motion in Parliament, and it went through.
Yeah.
Now, according to the, especially the leaders, by then had a goodwill, a political will, because by then they adopted the law. But law that is the law that is not our people, because people culture we are talking about, and culture is deeply rooted to our people.
Yeah.
It's a process for you to go and at least talk to them every time, here and then, so that it sinks to them. But now, as you talked about our girls and our women,
yeah,
who are at the receiving end.
Yeah.
It's true, as Supreme said, there was a time as one school had like 15 pregnant girls or pregnant girls in one school, and that is just one. You can imagine what about other schools? So it came into our mind that indeed there is need for us to up our game.
Yeah.
We might have tried at least to do something, but we still have a long way to go. And that is why we are using all the tools, all the medias, to make sure that we approach the community and talk to them. We create platforms so that the community can get this information, especially the right information. Another problem that we are having is we don't have political will from our leaders. And that is one big thing. If a leader just speaks, a multitude of people will change. But because leaders are not talking about this, even if you as an activist go there and talk about this, it will not work. Or it will work, but at a minimal
level. Yeah.
It's a challenge to us, and we are trying to make sure that we bring together stakeholders from different communities, from different organizations, especially like when we are doing the End FGM campaign in radio and other programs. Yes,
yeah,
it's working, but we still have a long way to go.
Thank you very much, Mtunasi. Just straight to some questions coming from our online platforms. I see Sonyanga Olengais says, what are the measures in times being undertaken while considering the confinement of the people without endangering the lives of the community in relation to the coronavirus disease? This goes to Emmanuel. What are the measures being taken while considering the confinement of the people during the corona pandemic? Yeah, I can hear you now.
During this period, as initially we had camps which acted as rescue centers. Mm-hmm. Now that we have this COVID issue, those schools that were acting as rescue centers were closed by the government.
Yeah.
So it is a challenge to us now. Like if such a case happens, we do not have a specific area where we can take the case, but we work with the administration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are the ones who gives us the relevant guidance that we need.
Yeah.
Or we can report to them.
Yeah.
And then they will give us the right course of action. Fortunately, it is that mostly this practice takes place on an even year.
Yeah.
And then usually December, mostly.
All right.
So it gives us hope, because the practice is not done during
Anytime.
this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, not anytime. Yeah.
But are there any, do we have emerging trends, or any of you, the three of you, has anyone heard of any emerging trends in Bungoma County in regards to FGM? Because, some communities are now seeing that the holidays are long and they could actually do the FGM right now instead of the just expected times. Also knowing that it's against the law, they are also looking for any loopholes to just take advantage of and cut their daughters.
Yeah, we are aware of that challenge now that we are told that everyone should stay home and no interaction, and to some extent it's a bar to us.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot go deep into the affairs of another locality or a family. But fortunately, the way we are distributed is that the membership of our groups, especially AYG, is that we draw members from almost every part of the constituency, and therefore through that we have a good networking system.
Yeah.
That we can receive the information.
Thank you very much for that. I'll cut you short there. I'll just go to another question being asked, rather a comment online. I see Stella Kikomi says, I'm happy to hear maendeleo ya wanawake in Bungoma County. I hope the other counties can join the fight against FGM other than being active only during political engagements. So that's a positive note from Stella. Kaji Dr. Luke says, loud and clear from Narok. And Sonyanga is also making a comment there, as well as Eva Komba. Welcome to this show. We really do appreciate having you here today. We want to bring this to a close because we don't have much time. But before we do so, we have the cultural beliefs, and we've had an issue with this a lot, having different people having different beliefs in regards to FGM. We know that some people believe that by cutting children, they will have less promiscuity in their communities. Others believe that some organs will not grow even more. But we also have other misconceptions that maybe are specific to the Sabaot community, and that's what we're going to be talking to as the last point before we close this. What are the cultural issues? Why is it important in this community, culturally or traditionally, for a girl to be cut? We start off with Stella.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, we start off with Chumba. Sorry.
Okay. I was wondering.
Who is Stella? I just read a comment from Stella.
Echo. I don't know if there is a radio there. There is some echo.
Yeah, maybe you could just mute our microphones from that side.
Okay. So, as I earlier said, we are experiencing a lot of mixed minds from the parents and even the children, especially girls.
Yeah.
Because as we fight for the COVID pandemic, we should also not forget that we have very many issues. And as I said, the circumcisers and the perpetrators of FGM are very smart, and they are even smarter than the law enforcers.
Yeah.
And anything can happen, and anyone can take advantage of this situation.
Yeah.
And do whatever she or he wants.
Yeah.
For example, FGM, when it is we have this form of FGM called what do we call this one being done at the hospital?
A medicalized FGM.
Medicalization, that is it.
Yeah.
So a parent can do that, or they can go to the forest, like in Mount Elgon, or they they can go even as far as Kapchorwa in Uganda. So we should be very careful. We should be very vigilant, and bring about measures to curb that, because we should not only focus on COVID only. In fact, when I was doing my sensitization today in Cheskaki ward, I got a lot of questions and a lot of concerns from the community members that we should be looking at all the problems facing the community, because we should not be focusing on just one thing and forgetting other issues. Like the FGM issue, and I'm going to repeat this, because it is a very crucial issue. And it is a challenge even in Bungoma County, because it is believed that Bungoma County is a Bukusu County. So it is very hard for someone from maybe Uasin Gishu and those other counties to believe that FGM is practiced in Bungoma County. And that is why maybe I'm assuming that that is one of the reasons to why the county government is not taking us very serious to even support us in trying to curb the vice.
All right.
So I am urging our leaders, be it MCS, be it the MP, this is a collective responsibility, and we should hold hands, all of us, to even look at the effects of FGM. FGM does not end only on the cat. It has very many effects that affect this girl and even the community. And do you know it affects education, social development, even physical, psychological, and I would want to associate it or relate to the first question you posed to Solomon, that that question of FGM in Mount Elgon. The SLDF, when I was doing my findings to why we have the militia boys or the militia group, then it took me back to the FGM. Do you know those songs that are being sung during the celebrations? They are very dirty, and you can imagine a 9 years old boy, 10 years old, being told that you are now a man and you can marry. That Emily is waiting for you outside there. You can imagine that. And same to this girl. After the cut, she's told that you are now ready for Philip. Your husband is waiting for you. So it is funny and it is ridiculous that us parents are perpetrating the same and going to an extent of passing that dirty information to our children. So to me, we have to look deeply into the root causes and even beliefs, because FGM is surrounded by culture and so many negative attitudes and myths that justifies FGM. So it starts with the culture, and then we come to we should be able to bring the community back. Up to the modernization, because we should leave all the negative practices and uphold those practices that assist us as a community and assist our girls and women health-wise.
Thank you very much. I think I'll cut you short there. Thank you very much for that. We have had so much discussions here and more comments coming in. Just a quick question coming from Facebook as well. Solomon had talked about, Emmanuel had talked about the seasons where FGM is being practiced normally in the Mount Elgon area, and we are seeing a comment from someone online asking, Sojenga says, but don't you think that it shouldn't be assumed that the FGM will take place during the December holiday, since we are on a very long holiday? I think you already talked about that, but just a quick one. Is it something that you think could be a risk, not just to the girls that were supposed to be maybe in school during this time, but also to those who do not go to school at all?
On FGM during this time?
Yes.
No, FGM is normally done on an even year. And in December. But now we are talking of those perpetrators taking advantage of what is happening in Kenya, and start doing it even secretly. So we are not only focusing on one side of the story, but we should also be able to take a look. I mean, bring that picture of people taking advantage of the situation we have, because we have the children with us, we have the staying at home. So me as a parent, I can keep my girls and do whatever I want with them if I'm for the FGM. So it is not something that it is for a specific time.
All right.
Because these people,
right.
as I said, they are becoming smarter. When we came along with the law, they went ahead and do it secretly.
All right.
So anything can happen anytime.
Thank you very much for that. K-Beth from Twitter says, another show of informative, dynamic guests. Thank you very much. She says, there is also an economic motivation that the circumcisers have as well. Does anyone address that? I wanted to give that to Emmanuel, but we've lost him. So we just go straight to Solomon. There is also an economic motivation, and in a marathon that Emmanuel had taken part in 2017, 2018, there were circumcisers who dropped the knife, basically. Is there an economic motivation in this, that it's not ending in Mount Elgon area? All right. I don't think you got that. Solomon, let me just ask it again. Is there an economic motivation to the circumcisers, and that's why they are keeping on asking, keeping on doing this? All right. We lost them. We lost them right now, but when we get back, we'll just be bringing this to a close. But your question, K, will be answered in the long run. Keep them coming. Is there a motivation on incentives, basically incentives that relate to finances that motivate these people?
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we are back once again. Keep the comments coming online. I see lots of people joining in, still online. Thank you very much for being part of this show. We really do appreciate. Keep the comments coming in, and we will be able to broadcast them live. We've had lots of people asking questions. K-Beth, the question to Nasi. I also see Emmanuel is back, so we'll just look that on to him as well as we bring this to a close. K-Beth is asking, is there a financial motivation in this?
Okay, a financial motivation to the former circumcisers?
Even to the current ones that are still doing it?
Okay. On that day when we had the marathon, we had a good team from the End FGM board and also stakeholders from the government. And after them conversing, those ones who were practicing it, there were about 9 who gave up the practice. And we have been in touch with them and also telling them to encourage others who may be still doing it, or those who are still doing it, to be persuaded to leave the practice and also join some government. There is a government program that was, we were told by the county government that they will be put in so that they engage in meaningful economic activities instead of doing that FGM. And maybe I digression a little.
Yeah.
For your information, in Kenya, if you look at the social organization of our communities,
yeah.
All communities practice FGM except Luo,
yeah.
Mijikenda, and Luya.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, we have a very big challenge. It spreads across. But now the major trouble comes in communities that are in remote areas like in Mount Elgon, West Pokot, Kuria, and others. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
You want to add something as you bring this to a close?
Yeah, okay, sorry. I wanted to just add something on what Emmanuel had said. We managed to, as Maendeleo, we managed to regroup and give an alternative way of earning some way of earning for the circumcisers. In fact, as Emmanuel puts it, it was a program from the county government. There is this women fund, and we were able to register 2 groups for them.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, we were having alternative rite of passages for the girls and giving an alternative for the circumcisers, because we said because they do it as a business and for other reasons. Then we told them, you better do something meaningful, because after all, circumcision is only done in an even year. What about the other years that you are not doing this, or the seasons you are not doing this? It is only done in December. Yeah. So there is no need to practice something that will bring problems to you, because they will be jailed, because there is no law, there is no culture that supersedes the constitution. It surpasses the constitution of Kenya, because it is the supreme law.
Yeah.
So they agreed and they formed a group. In fact, they have 2 groups. So that is what we have tried so far, and we are still doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah, and also maybe, Jeremy, you asked about the myths that our people are having back at home.
Yeah.
You find that every woman that is not circumcised, according to the community, is still a child or still young.
Yeah.
She is not mature enough to get married or get children. So this actually gives us some hint that maybe when these women go to deliver or to deliver, because some of them might be getting married before circumcision.
Yeah.
So. And we have this traditional birth attendants.
Yeah.
How are you sure that these TBS are not practicing it?
Yeah.
Because if they can decide to do it, you will not know.
Yeah.
So actually, it's not only that we are having FGM during the even years, but even these other periods or this other time, because if a woman will not be educated enough or will not get this information that we are talking about, and be contented that you are not mature until you are circumcised, then that means that woman can be convinced to be circumcised even when delivering.
That's an issue that we've seen.
Some of the GBSs can decide and do it without the consent of the woman.
That's an issue we've seen.
So it worries a lot.
That's an issue that we've seen in different communities, and women who basically do not want to give the consent end up being cut during delivery. Happens also in the community that I have come from. We've had cases such as those. So thank you very much for your contribution. We'll just bring this to a close. Just one thing that we would like to say that we have not covered would be very welcome, but in maximum 2 sentences. If anyone has anything else to say before we just bring this to a close.
Maybe I will start.
All right, go.
We are calling upon each and every one people, every community, and each and every one of us, our women, our girls, our boys, and our old generation, to embrace what we call change. Because change is like a rest. We cannot continue doing the same things, same year, every time, in and out. this is the right time we need to change.
Yeah.
And change will bring development. Without that change, we won't see development. If we want to see development, let us just accept the change.
Well
and
said.
the government is there. It has put laws across. Let us embrace these laws and practice them. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. In 2 sentences, Emmanuel?
Okay. For me, I'll recommend us to have an alternative rite of passage, such that when a girl completes class 8, before joining Form 1, we have a session or sessions per sub-location.
Yeah.
We can buy them T-shirts and all that. And we call successful women and those ones who can offer female education to ladies. Instead of going through the cut before you are educated, now here, after finishing class 8, the girls can be collected in a central place and be educated on life skills before they go to Form 1. You are told you are now leaving your parents, this is what you should do as a responsible girl, this and this. I think that will be better than cutting our girls. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you very much for that brief piece of advice and recommendation. To you now.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeremy. My last word is that I would like first to urge Maendeleo Wanawake headquarters in Nairobi, that is our chairperson Maendeleo Wanawake, to relook into those programs that used to be in Mount Elgon, because we used to have yearly alternative rite of passage sessions across Mount Elgon.
Yeah.
Then 2, I am urging all the leadership of Mount Elgon and Bungoma County, even if you are not, even if your community does not practice FGM, but let's hold hands and support advocacy on FGM for Mount Elgon people, because it has really let us down. We have high rate of less educated women in Mount Elgon.
Yeah.
And I like the boys up there, so Solomon, Emmanuel, and the team, because we had a program called He for She, and I like what they are doing, because we have to call upon men to talk about, to discourage FGM, so that our old people can see the change in us, and because change is progressive, and we should head somewhere. Then lastly, I would like to send some salamu to my predecessor, Jennifer Mbatiany. That is the former Maendeleo Wanawake Mount Elgon. I took her position. And all women in Bungoma County, not only in Mount Elgon. So let's hold hands. Let's make sure that FGM does not exist anywhere.
FGM does not exist anywhere. Thank you very much for that call to action. Just bringing this to a close. More and more people still joining in, but you don't have time to just acknowledge them. But I can see Asenath says very informative. Well done. Thank you very much. Same with Kay, who says thanks to everyone. We also have yes, Kay says right on, boys. Thank you very much also for what you've said. I think it's loud and clear in different parts of this world. Thank you very much for joining us today. We will be here tomorrow, same time, same place. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi. Tunasi, how do people reach out to you?
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and may God bless you. I think this is the right time. We should do this again and again.
Yeah. How do people reach out to you on Twitter, on Facebook?
Let them find me at Mtunasi, Twitter at Mtunasi Solomon, Facebook at Mtunasi Solomon, and Instagram at Mtunasi Solomon. Yes.
Thank you very much. And to you, Emmanuel, how do people reach out to you?
On Facebook, you'll find me on Naibei Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Twitter at Naibei Emmanuel.
Yeah.
And also Instagram, Naibei Emmanuel.
You are Naibei Emmanuel in all platforms.
Yeah, Naibei.
Naibei.
Thank you very much for joining us again today. Remember that in our show today, we had Peter Kemei, who was not able to join us for a long time. We also had Antonia Solomon, who is the chair of Adventure Youth Group and also radio presenter at BK Radio. We also had Soprin Jepchumba, chair of Maendeleo Wanawake organization in the Mount Elgon area, and Emmanuel Murko, who is a teacher and a member of Adventure Youth Group as well, has a radio show at BK Radio. Thank you very much for this informative show. We really appreciate having you here. Seems like it's only me and Emmanuel that are still going to bring this to a close. But before we do so, we will just appreciate Natalie Robitingo and Menye Lekishon for joining us. Holy K Freitas from the US, thank you very much for joining us as well. Rose Titonkashumpai as well. Thank you very much for joining us today. Till tomorrow, stay safe, and we will be back with much more. All right, see you tomorrow, and thank you very much for joining us again, Mtunasi Solomon. Kwaheri.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.